Well, hello there. How are y'all doing today? I hope you're doing great. Hope you're staying healthy. Let's get right into it. So, today, what we are talking about is organization inside of Lightroom Classic. So, we've got a couple of different folders here. We've got my back road exploring and then a little day trip that I took back in August um, out to the Little Sahara and Gloss Mountain, and I think just a couple of places. Went out to Western Oklahoma, checked it out. I was looking for some camping sites, that kind of thing. Just checking out, see what's out there. I hadn't been to this area before, so I wanted to see, and that's what I did. It was awesome. So, anyways, I digress. So, what we're going to talk about, like I said, is organization inside of Lightroom Classic. So, these photos, like I imported another catalog here, so we have something to work with. So, we're going to start with this little area right here, the catalog pane, I guess it were, or module, however you'd like to think about it. It tells you how many photographs you have in your catalog, anything that is synced, a quick collection, and the previous import. So what a quick collection is let's say I'm going through and I'm like, oh, that I like that one. You can hit the B key and that'll add it to the quick collection, or you can right click and I believe oh, here it is. Sorry. God dang, I got lost. Remove from quick collection or add to quick collection. You can right click and do that. I usually just hit B and add it. So like if come through, I'm like, that's my favorite. That's my favorite. I want to edit these later, or I know these are already edited and I want to export them out later. Oh, whoops. I already had that one. And I'm going to add that one. So then you can come here to quick collection. Like, okay, these are done. These two need a little work, not a big deal. But these are my favorites. I can edit these and then export them out, and we're good to go. I've done that for some photo shoots and that kind of thing, but this works pretty well. Works pretty well to find where I need to be and edit the photos I need to for whatever. It's pretty helpful, so I recommend using them for getting your head wrapped around what you need to edit or selects from a shoot or a trip or that kind of thing. So we're going to go back to this little catalog of photos, and then we're going to move down here. So folders, you can filter out folders, and you can just if you can type, which I can't, you can search for a particular folder um, in there and really dial down to what folder you're needing to search for or look through for your images. You can also add folders. This is kind of like importing. Um, so I want to add a folder, but see, a lot of these I already have. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down to my photos here, and we'll do 2020, and we'll do night photography. This was pretty cool. So we'll add this folder, and this is going to import because it's not actually in my catalog. So it has to import the info around these photos to the catalog. So we're going to go ahead. I don't need to build smart previews because these have already been added to my personal catalog. So don't need that. We're going to do the metadata Charles copyright, which just adds my name to the copyright in the metadata. It doesn't really do anything else. You can add keywords here if you want. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add these keywords. This is just an example, but you can add whatever keywords. And generally, you want to have keywords that are descriptive about the photos that you're importing. But for sample sake, these are the keywords we're going to use. Let's go ahead and we're going to import these. And boom, here's the folder. It's finishing up the import, and we'll be good to go. So as soon as that gets done, all right. So there we go. We have these photos have been imported. You can see the structure right over here on the left side. And that's really about it. I mean, you can go through and there are a lot of options when you're importing. So let's come back here. You can copy the photos over as a PNG. You can just copy, you can move, you can add. So right now, since all these photos have been imported in previously and are on my hard drives, we're just doing add to library or add to catalog. You can do some of this. You can do some of this. So let's Photoshop compositing. That's something I was working on. I didn't really get anything out of it, or I didn't really take it anywhere. Just kind of messing around. But here you can automatically add them to a collection if you have collections. I don't have any built up on this library. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. Spoiler alert. But you don't import selected duplicates. This is good if you have a lot of photos on one SD card or compact flash card and you've imported, images from a previous trip already. It'll look through those photos, and if it has duplicates, you can tell it, hey, don't worry about those. So that's about it for the import. So we're just going to go ahead and cancel out of that. Next, we're going to move down to collections. And so collections are an easy way to find and keep like images together. So in my personal library, what I use color labels quite a bit. And so this is already colored, colored red. What that is saying is like, like if I want these and I know I'm going to use them in a HDR later, I'm going to create an HDR. You can right click and you can come down here to set color label and select red. And then these show up in this smart collection. So what a smart collection is it looks for a particular attribute and then it'll add all of the photos that have that attribute to that collection. So it does some organization for you. So you can come through. This is like 5 stars. Like, oh my gosh, these images. So if you like to organize and use 5-star or the star system or however you like your hero shots, you can say, okay, that's a 5-star. I really love that one. Oh man, I love that one too. Give it 5 stars. Boom. These are your 5-star shots, right? So these can stay together for portfolio work or however you're going to do. If you're creating a slideshow, you're going to create a book, however you want to do it. These smart collections can really help you stay organized. So let's say I wanted to make a book. Okay. So we're going to do a generate smart collection and we're going to name this photo book. Okay. And we're going to inside smart collection, that's where the location is going to be because we want it to be underneath the smart collections here. And so we're going to match all of the following rules, or you could say any of the following rules. But we're going to do all because I'm generally going to do something specific to say these are the only images I want to use. So like in this instance, we're going to do a color label is purple. Okay. And so any images that I give a purple color label will go into this smart collection. So we're going to go ahead and let's see. We're going to give randomly. We're going to do this one. Set color label to purple. And we'll do this one, even though it needs a little work. It's not a big deal. And boom. I've got my 2 images to get started on my photo book right here in this collection. Now you can say, you can edit this later So you can edit Smart Collection, and then let's say we're gonna add a rule right here and say, oh, and is greater than 3-star. Okay. So none of those were purple and 3 stars, so they got taken out. Okay, so I don't want to do that. I don't want to have two conditions on this. So I'm going to go ahead and take that out, because if I'm adding, in this instance, if I'm adding photos or images to this collection for a photo book, they're already my top photos. You know what I mean? So one thing, that's fine. So smart collections, just to recap, smart collections look for a certain rule. Let's call it a rule. They look for images that fit certain things. So you create a set of rules. It'll search your entire catalog for images with those rules, and then it'll put them in the smart collection. So this is where, if you really wanted to, you could do this with keywords. You could do this with all kinds. Ratings, has smart preview, snapshots. You could do a source from a particular, you could watch a folder and it would add them here within a specific range, data. I mean, all kinds of stuff. You can do all kinds of stuff. It's really, really helpful. So you, like I said, title, captions, keywords, job, creator, all of this extra metadata, you can create a smart collection that will look for that metadata, that particular rule, that attribute, and move all the photos that have those rules, that fill in, that fit those rules. Sorry, if I could talk here, that fit those rules, and then it adds them to the smart collection. So smart collections are incredibly powerful and handy when used to help you organize for certain things, or just to, in general. Like if you want to do a smart collection of all the photos of the ocean that you've taken over the years, well, you just be sure, one, you have to be sure all your photos are keyworded, have a keyword associated with them as ocean. And then you can create a smart collection that looks for a keyword of ocean, and boom, there you go. Okay, so now we're going to move on to creating a collection set, because as you can see, all these smart collections are underneath this right here, smart collections. This is a smart collection set, or a collection set. So we're going to move that down, and then we're going to say create a collection set. And let's say, oh man, let's just call that collection set. No big deal. We're not going to embed. We're not going to put it underneath anything. So create. So here's another folder. Pretty much, it's like a box, like a photo box, as you can see by the little icon. So we're going to add a collection. We're going to put that inside of collection set and create. So this collection doesn't have any rules. There is no rules. This, you just name it. Oh, nope. I wanted to rename, and we're going to use this later on, and I'll show you why. Lightroom sync. So there's no photos in a collection because there's no rules. It doesn't go out and look for rules or anything. This is pretty much a manual way of organizing your photos. So you can select, and we're just going to randomly select these photos, and we're going to drag and drop them over here to Lightroom Sync. So boom, all those photos have been manually put into this collection set. Now you can rename these, and you can add collections for whatever reason you want. I personally don't think they're as handy as smart collections, because the smart collections, will allow you to, it does it automatically for you. The one thing that I really see a benefit of using a smart collection is you can have all of your photos, you know, um, in your folders in your catalog. But then let's say you're a wedding photographer, okay? Imagine with me you're a wedding photographer, or you might be a wedding photographer. I don't know. Let's say you're a wedding photographer and you want to take all of your best shots. These are the client shots, right? These are the ones that you show your clients when you're trying to get jobs. You can move those into this catalog. And those are the only ones. You want to have those together at all times. You don't want to have anything automatically, because these are the creme de la creme of your images, right? These are your top notch. You only show the people you're trying to get hired by, right? So you could have that collection, and then boom, it just sits there, and they're always together. So you can make a slideshow from it. You could do a book. You could do a number of things with those images. Okay, well, that's going to cover it for collections. Don't forget that you have a myriad of ways of organizing your photos, and it's just going to come down to what works best for your workflow. I have mine. I use, we'll go over to my personal catalog for just a second so I can kind of show you. Open this up. I like to stay inspirational here on my desktop. So while this is opening, takes a minute because there's a lot of photos in here. So in mine, because I don't do a whole lot of published work, I don't work for anybody when I do my photography. I generally just use the folder system here to stay organized. I do have some smart collections done, set up, video files, or working video files, whatever. This is just how I have it. I don't use a lot of them just because most of the time, once I am done importing, I do my edits, I do my changes, I do a little bit of keywording. I do use flags. So basically how I use a flag is, let's say I just imported these images, and so we're going through and I'm looking, I'm like, I like this one. So I'll hit it with a flag. And I know that I'm going to edit that image later. And you can hit X and you can mark it as a rejected, or you can hit P, mark it as a pick, or you can hit U and you can take the flag right off. So I do use flags quite a bit in my personal work. I don't use a whole lot of keywords, which I probably should, to be honest, to help me. But I do like my collections. I have a few collections set up. And if I go to work on a project, I'll get a collection set up and I'll use it to help keep me organized, especially if it's a long-term project going to be set over a few days. So that's about it for today. I hope you learned something. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. Send me a message, however. I'd really appreciate it. Appreciate you guys hanging out and checking this video out. Hope you have a great day, and we'll see you later.